If you still think full-length rifles dictate the modern battlefield, your intel is out of date. Welcome back to iReview. It's 2026, and tactical doctrine is experiencing a seismic shift. Today's premier compact platforms are delivering full-length ballistic performance out to 300 yards, drastically cutting weight and overall footprint without compromising lethality. Across the globe, elite military units are systematically phasing out traditional 20-inch setups in favor of shorter, highly agile systems engineered for the modern operator. And the platform taking our #1 spot, it just secured massive defense contracts that legacy carbines couldn't even touch. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the era of the long barrel is fading and get an up-close look at the next-generation hardware taking its place. The PSA Olcan. When internet dreams become tactical reality. If you have been paying attention to the rapidly shifting rifle doctrine of 2026, you know that the era of the long barrel is fading. As modern shooters seek platforms that cut serious weight without sacrificing capability, one rifle stands out not just for its engineering, but for its unique origin story. The PSA Olcan, what began as a wild concept car idea, a bold attempt to convert the popular Jakl platform into a bullpup, is now a reality because the public demanded it, and Palmetto State Armory delivered. On paper, the Olcan is a masterclass in maximizing space. It takes the battle-proven PSA Jakl upper, which relies on a rugged, bufferless long-stroke gas piston system inspired by the AK-47, and mates it to a proprietary bullpup lower. Full rifle velocity, 16-inch barrel, 27 inches overall. This configuration expertly seats a full 16-inch barrel into a package that measures a mere 27 inches overall. This means you are getting full rifle velocity and terminal ballistics in a footprint shorter than an Mk18. It feeds from standard AR-15 magazines and is outfitted with fully ambidextrous controls. Perhaps its best utility feature is that it allows you to use your existing Jakl uppers, letting you swap calibers between 5.56, 300 blackout, and even 308 if you step up to the heavy frame. By utilizing the Jakl's adjustable gas block, the Olcan allows shooters to perfectly tune the gas flow. This ensures smooth, quiet cycling and eliminates the toxic gas face that typically plagues suppressed bullpups. Historically, if you bought a bullpup, you had to accept one glaring flaw: a terrible mushy trigger caused by long, clunky linkage bars. The most impressive subjective triumph of the Olcan is how it feels on the firing line. PSA tackled the trigger problem head-on, engineering a trigger pack that is surprisingly crisp and tactile. It feels incredibly responsive, rivaling the triggers found in rifles that cost twice as much. In my view, the Olcan is the rifle that proved the internet right. It completely bridges the gap between a novel concept and a highly practical defense tool. Getting SPR-level compactness with full-length ballistics is a game-changer. It does not just look cool. The modularity of swapping uppers makes it one of the most versatile compact systems available today. When you look at the compact rifle market, platforms like the Springfield Hellion and the IWI Tavor easily command premium price tags. While exact MSRPs fluctuate, PSA's core mission shines through here. The Olcan brings next-generation bullpup ergonomics firmly into the working man's budget. If you have been holding out for a space-age bullpup, but absolutely refuse to pay a space-age price tag, the PSA Olcan is the revolution you have been waiting for. The Daniel Defense Mk18, the undisputed definition of the compact rifle. If you want to talk about the shift away from full-length rifles, you simply cannot ignore the legend that paved the way. The Daniel Defense Mk18 is not just a rifle. It is the absolute definition of the compact rifle. As military doctrine shifts towards shorter, more agile systems, the Mk18 stands as the benchmark against which all other short-barreled platforms are measured. Looking at the hard specifications, the Mk18 is the civilian version of the carbine that originally replaced submachine guns in Special Forces armories. It fires the standard 5.56 NATO cartridge through a battle-hardened direct impingement system. 10 3-inch barrel, 27 inches long, 6 pounds. The heart of this beast is a 10 3-inch cold hammer forged barrel. Dimensionally, it creates a highly maneuverable package that is just 27 inches when collapsed, and weighs in at roughly 6 pounds. The true soul of the Mk18, however, is its RZ2 quad rail. This is the exact same handguard that Daniel Defense currently supplies to the US SOCOM. From a functional standpoint, the Mk18 feels exactly like what it is, a purpose-built combat tool. The quad rail system is incredibly rigid and bomb-proof, ready to be loaded with lights, lasers, and grips, whatever the mission demands. While newer platforms on the market might boast about space-age modularity, the Mk18 offers something entirely different: unmatched legacy. It handles with a rugged, no-nonsense authority, delivering full rifle power in a room-clearing size. In my view, the pedigree of this rifle completely overshadows any of its modern competitors. US SOCOM adopted the Mk18 CQBR specifically for Special Operations Forces, and Navy SEALs alongside Army Rangers have carried this platform into the fray for 2 decades. From shipboarding actions to high-risk entries, this system has fired millions of rounds in active combat zones without skipping a beat. My verdict is straightforward. If the world's most elite units trust this platform in the absolute worst conditions imaginable, you can undoubtedly trust it with your life. While a specific price tag is not explicitly mentioned in the breakdown, the Mk18's status as a top-tier, SOCOM-contracted weapon firmly places it in the premium price bracket. It does not aim to be a budget-friendly option. Instead, the cost reflects a professional-grade investment. When you purchase an Mk18, you are not just buying aluminum and steel. You are paying for 2 decades of proven combat reliability and the peace of mind that comes with a true military-grade asset. The IWI Tavor X95. Defying physics and dominating the battlefield. On paper, the physics of this rifle should not work. But out in the field, it absolutely dominates. As the era of long-barreled rifles fades, the IWI Tavor X95 solves the oldest problem in rifle design: figuring out how to get full velocity out of a tiny package. Under the hood, the X95 fires the standard 5.56 NATO cartridge through a legendary long-stroke gas piston system. This is the exact same rugged action found in the iconic AK-47. The true magic of this platform lies in its dimensions: 16 5-inch barrel, 26 1 inches total. It features a 16 5-inch barrel that delivers full rifle ballistics, yet the overall length of the weapon is a mere 26 1 inches. Let that sink in. That is actually shorter than an Mk18 equipped with a 10-inch barrel. The bullpup configuration places the action behind the trigger, effectively shrinking the footprint while keeping the power. On the outside, it is highly adaptable. It features fully ambidextrous controls, a full-length top rail, and integrated backup iron sights that fold seamlessly into the frame. Additionally, it accepts standard AR-15 magazines and can even be converted for left-handed ejection if you swap in the right bolt kit. Handling the X95 is a revelation. You get SPR compactness without suffering from the ballistic drop-offs typical of short-barreled rifles. If you have ever dismissed bullpups as just an ergonomic novelty or a ranged toy, the X95 is here to categorically prove you wrong. It feels incredibly robust and purpose-built to tackle the harshest conditions imaginable. While the engineering is brilliant, my personal verdict rests entirely on its history. The real selling point of the X95 is not the spec sheet. It is the pedigree. The Israel Defense Forces needed a rifle that could survive choking sand, blistering heat, and the absolute tightest urban environments on Earth. They replaced their legacy platforms with the Tavor family for a reason, and over 15 years of frontline service have proven one undeniable truth: this system runs when others stop. In the current market, the IWI Tavor X95 is known to command a premium price tag. However, this is not an inflated cost for a space-age aesthetic. You are paying for a proven, frontline-ready tool. For the professional end-user or the serious civilian shooter, that premium price buys you over a decade of elite military testing, unrelenting reliability, and full-size firepower in a miraculously small footprint. The Jakl & Koch MR556A4, over-engineered for absolute survival. If you are looking for a platform that is not just compact, but combat-proven in environments most rifles will never survive. Look no further than the Heckler & Koch MR556A4. This rifle was specifically engineered to silence every critic who ever questioned the German legend. Operating system. It fires 5.56 NATO through a legendary short-stroke gas piston system that effectively keeps carbine fouling out of the action. Barrel and accuracy. The rifle features an 11-inch cold hammer-forged barrel that delivers impressive sub-MOA accuracy, wrapped in a free-floating M-lock handguard. Modern ergonomics. The A4 designation upgrades the platform into the modern era, featuring fully ambidextrous controls, including the bolt catch, safety, and mag release. Weight and build. We have to address the elephant in the room. It sits at a hefty 767 pounds unloaded, which is significantly heavier than competitors like the CZ Bren 2M. This mass comes directly from a heavy profile barrel and 70-75 T6 aluminum receivers. Handling the MRF 556A4, you immediately feel where that extra weight goes. It is built to withstand abuse that would snap a standard AR-15 in half. Functionally, the piston system is a massive advantage on the firing line. While other rifles choke after just a few hundred rounds, the MRF 556 runs cool and clean practically indefinitely. The historical pedigree of this weapon is truly unmatched. This is the civilian evolution of the rifle that killed bin Laden. Heckler & Koch designed the original HK416 for special forces who needed a rifle that simply cannot fail. And the MRF 556A4 puts that same over-engineered reliability directly into your hands. While a specific price tag is not mentioned, the design philosophy dictates its value. If you want a featherweight toy, you need to look elsewhere. The MR 556A4 is a premium, professional-grade investment meant for a very specific type of shooter. It is worth every penny if you want a rifle that prioritizes absolute survival over comfort. The Sig Sauer MCX Rattler, the new world order for personal defense. If you want to know what is taking the #1 spot and making full-length guns obsolete, look no further. The Sig Sauer MCX Rattler is not just a backpack gun. It is the new world order for personal defense. While other platforms simply try to shrink the standard rifle down, Sig built this beast from the ground up to dominate the most confined spaces on Earth. Operating system. At its heart is a highly efficient short-stroke gas piston system. Barrel specs. It features an ultra-short 5.5-inch barrel, utilizing an aggressive 1-to-5 twist rate. This fast twist is mandatory to properly stabilize heavy 300 blackout subsonic rounds over short distances. Dimensions and weight. When folded, the entire package measures just 16 inches long. It weighs in at under 6 pounds, making it incredibly easy to transport. The modularity is unmatched. Using a simple torque driver, you can swap calibers, allowing you to run 300 blackout subsonics for whisper-quiet operations, or switch over to supersonics for barrier-blind performance. Handling the Rattler reveals why it outclasses traditional setups. Unlike a standard AR-15 that dumps dirty gas back into the chamber and directly into your face, the Rattler runs exceptionally cool and clean. This is critical when running a suppressor, as it entirely prevents the toxic gas face that plagues so many other compact rifles. Ergonomically, it is the ultimate discreet tool. It fits effortlessly under seats, in gym bags, and in standard backpacks without printing. You do not just have to take my word for it. Ask US SOCOM. After a brutal testing phase that pushed every PDW on the market to destruction, SOCOM officially awarded SIG the contract for their new personal defense weapon. They demanded a system that could be deployed from a discreet bag in seconds, punch through vehicle glass, and cycle reliably in the worst environments imaginable. The Rattler was the definitive answer. My verdict is simple. If you are still carrying a 20-inch musket in 2026, you are tactically obsolete. The MCX Rattler is exactly what is replacing it. While a specific retail price is not quoted in the breakdown, its value is undeniably premium. You are looking at a platform that is military-proven, combat-fielded, and contract-winning. For the professional or serious civilian looking to understand the true direction modern rifles are taking, the investment pays for itself through absolute reliability and elite-level modularity. If you're still with us, it means you're serious about understanding the future of tactical hardware. and where modern rifle doctrine is actually heading. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these platforms stood out to you the most. I read every single one. A quick compliance note before we wrap up. Several of the configurations featured today may fall under NFA regulations or face specific state and local restrictions. Firearm laws are complex and constantly evolving, and strict legal compliance is entirely your responsibility. Always verify your local, state, and federal regulations. As a reminder, this iReview breakdown was produced strictly for educational and informational purposes, utilizing publicly available data and industry-level reporting. If you value professional, fact-driven firearm analysis, hit that subscribe button. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.